Hello there everybody, it is me XFreezerBunny and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. So ever since Island Living came out, a lot of you have been asking me to do an off-the-grid lot build, so that's what we're doing today. So I'm super excited to do this off-the-grid house. Today's build is actually called the Eco Caravan. Now this is a tiny off-the-grid mobile home that is fully functional with the new off-the-grid lot trait. Now, for those of you who may not be familiar with this whole concept of off-the-grid, basically off-the-grid is this alternative lifestyle wherein you don't have access to things like electricity or plumbing, and trust me, if you've ever tried it out in-game, it's quite a challenge. Now, luckily, I personally enjoy these kinds of strategy / survival gameplay, so I actually had a lot of fun. If you're anything like me, you'd also have a lot of fun trying out this new lot trait as well. So I actually had a lot of fun with this build. At the moment, we are building it on a 20 by 20 lot here in Tulani. This build actually isn't necessarily like an island themed build per se. I would say like this style is more kind of like modern industrial / rustic. You guys will understand why a little bit later on, but I feel like this style of build works really well in most neighborhoods. I don't know, but yeah, I think it'll fit in really well in any world you put it in regardless. So yeah, I personally really love this in Strangerville. Actually, that's where I took most of the screenshots / house tour. So yeah, the lighting in Strangerville I thought just really complemented the look of this build overall, so I really enjoyed it there. There's quite a few 20 by 20 lots all over the world as well, so you guys wouldn't really find it difficult to find a place for this one. Now anyway, before I get carried away, let's actually talk about the build itself. Now this build has an interior floor area of 4 by 8 tiles, which is a tiny amount of space, but believe it or not, that area contains most of the living spaces like the kitchen, bedroom, living room, and toilet. There's also lots of outdoor living areas as well. There is a large garden with lots of awesome plants, and there's also a roof deck where there is a laundry area as well. My favorite part of this build would definitely have to be these, I would say, homemade eco solutions, and one of them we are working on right now, which I would like to consider as kind of like this rainwater collection / filtration system. So basically this is a whole system that's just purely decorative, but I imagine this flat roof would collect the rainwater and it will drain it onto these green walls where the water could be filtered or whatever, and then it would be collected into these blue barrels. So you guys will see quite a lot of these blue barrels all over the place. They are from Strangerville and they do have like this kind of like toxic sign attached to them, but I try to hide most of them as much as I can. So yeah, I really like the look of it. So let's see, what else do I have to talk about this build? Oh, you know what? This build, I designed it for an artistic nature lover. I think this build would be perfect for that kind of person, because as you guys can see, like a lot of the aspects of this build looks like it's been made by hand. You know, a lot of the materials that have been used are like recycled materials. Like there's been a lot of upcycling involved with like upcycling wood for the furniture and glass and all of that stuff. So I imagine that is exactly the type of sim who would love to live here. Now this build was also made for a couple, but you know, this would also work really well for just an individual sim. Let's just, you know, talk about this interior right here, which I love. Believe it or not, I actually really love this interior. Also, it took me so much time to furnish this because as small as this build is, it's also like insanely detailed. There's so much clutter. Yeah, there's like a lot of clutter and all of that stuff, so I made sure that everything's functional. There are quite a few technical issues with the off-the-grid lot rate at the moment. I did hear from EA that they're working on fixing everything, so yeah, I think there's definitely quite a few issues that I've encountered as I was playtesting this, but I did my best to make everything functional, and once they put out a patch to fix all of those technical issues, I think everything would run pretty smoothly. But yeah, this is like the main living area. The kitchen is tiny. There's no stove. You just need like a fridge and a counter space, and literally that's all you need. So yeah. Also, this sink right here, it came with laundry day. I thought it would work with the whole off-the-grid lot rate, but it actually doesn't. There's two sinks that came with laundry day, and the other one, believe it or not, actually works with off-the-grid. It's the one right there, like behind the toilet. I put that there as like a decorative thing, but then I realized as I was playtesting this that was actually the functional sink. So I actually took that sink out of the toilet and replaced that one outside with that sink in the toilet that's functional, and I just got rid of the other sink because it didn't look good in the toilet. So I just put like a bucket in the toilet and I called it a day. And I don't know, for this build I just wanted it to look really you know, kind of like modular and built-in and all of that stuff. So a lot of the furniture and like storage space you guys will see is like integrated into the design of this build, because I did think of this as a mobile home. So like maybe on short notice they could just, you know, attach this to a vehicle and, you know, take it to another location. So a lot of the things have been made to look like they could easily be moved, and I think you guys will see that particularly when it comes to the landscaping, because the landscaping for this is pretty minimal. By the way, I love this bedroom. My favorite part about the interior, by the way, hands down, would be the whole skylight situation, which is another one of my so-called eco solutions, because the skylight actually brings in so much natural light, and natural lighting is amazing because it reduces your electricity consumption. Not that we have any electricity, but I mean, you need to see things when you're living in a house, right? So yeah, also lighting. Speaking of lighting, it's really challenging to do so with off the grid. So I actually included quite a bit of lighting footage just so you guys can see how I approach the whole lighting. And actually, I'm really happy with the way this whole interior is lit, especially during the daytime. It just looks really good, and I'm super proud of it. And I'm just putting in some like additional, you know, clutter items like those preserves, I would say, and all of that stuff. Now, this is another one of those like eco solutions that has like this rainwater collection thing. This is an outdoor shower, and this is a fully functional shower. I used one that came with outdoor retreat, and I just decided to make an outdoor shower to make things a little bit more interesting. And yeah, it's meant to look like really industrial, really salvaged in this build. But yeah, I really like this shower. It looks really cute, and my favorite part of this outdoor shower is actually the bucket slash pipe situation thing that we're gonna do in just a little bit. So yeah, once again, this shower is like super eco-friendly. The water used here is from the rainwater, so I don't know, these aren't really functional, but I just really like incorporating these details because for me it just makes things feel more immersive, and I really enjoyed that. So yeah, I did spend quite a bit of time working on this shower, and I could have edited this footage, but I don't know, I thought that you guys would really like to see things like these, so I tried to include as much of, you know, the stuff that I would normally cut out, such as like the tedious clutter work that I usually cut out in my builds. Try to include as much of those as I can because, you know, since this wasn't a particularly large build, I thought I might as well like include all of the whole detailing process, which literally took up most of the time I had as I was building this. Now, another one of my favorite aspects of this build would have to be this garden. Now, this garden is planted with pretty much everything we'd ever need. All of these plants, by the way, are summer crops, but we have everything like fruits, vegetables, flowers, herbs, you name it, we have them. As long as they grow in the summer, they're all here. We did get quite a few new crops that came with Sulani / Island Living. We had the taro, kava, and pineapple and coconut, so you can find all of those in this build. I don't know, I just thought they look really nice. I really appreciated that some of the new plants actually have new meshes. I really like them. I also threw in one of those like bushes that came with Get Together. These are like the woohoo bushes that you can pee in as well. So yeah, if for some reason your sim wouldn't want to use the indoor toilet, they can also use that bush as well. But yeah, we're just putting in so many plants because I feel like whoever lives here really is into growing their own produce and maybe selling it or using it as like their art material or whatever. Also put in like a flower table. There's a guitar and an easel as well inside. By the way, that chair that is like in that little bay window, I imagine that to be like a day bed or something, like a modular bed, so that when your sims have like guests or whatever, they can just pull out like a mattress from underneath that sofa and, you know, their guests can stay over in that area. So I should have probably talked about that as we were building it, but I just have so much stuff to talk about in this build, like it's crazy. Once again, we're just doing quite a lot of detail work. Normally I would cut this out in my regular builds, but you know, I just thought I might as well include them because they're actually quite fun to watch. And I'm pretty sure at this point you guys can already see like the whole modern rustic aesthetic that I was going for. And once again, a lot of these furniture is like made out of upcycled material, which is why they kind of look a little bit worn out, rustic, and aged, if that makes any sense, but I really like them. Oh, I also put this little beehive over here. Beekeeping box, I guess. I don't know, I just thought that would be really useful for the sim as well. I don't think I've ever encountered any recipes that involved using honey, so yeah. With Island Living also came like a fire pit where you can like make barbecues and stuff. I didn't put that here because it looked really out of place. Instead I put like a fire pit that came with Get Together, and I also put like a barbecue grill over here. It's from Strangerville, I believe, and it's one of those like recycled looking ones as well. And in case you guys missed it, there's also a little cooler over there right next to the barbecue grill. So your sim will have a lot of options when it comes to what they can cook and all of that stuff. Also, by the way, if I haven't talked about it, there is a laundry area on the roof of this house, which is another one of my favorite areas because it's like a little laundry area / lounge as well. I really like it. So landscaping wise, I just kept it really minimal. There's a couple of trees, nothing too crazy. They're pretty easy to delete if you eventually decide to put this into another lot. But yeah, I don't think there's much left to this build. Just adding in a couple more decorative pieces as well as this mailbox, which we cannot forget. But I think this is actually going to be it for this build. So hopefully you guys like it, and if you did, please do consider supporting the channel by sharing this video and subscribing. But that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up my commentary right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. You all have an awesome day. Enjoy the rest of the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.